Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get started on taking our websites that we did in our HTML page and bringing them over to our WordPress site. We're going to use a cool little plugin. Honestly, there's one feature it does that makes me want to use it as opposed to just making posts and using PostGrid or short codes to pull the content out. And that is that it automatically generates the website image from the link that we give it, and it caches it, and then it goes out and it checks every once in a while to see if it has changed in any way, shape, or form, which is pretty cool. So with that said, let's go ahead and let's do what we do best when we get ready to start a project, and let's go ahead and back up our site. Always the first thing that we do. In this case, we'll go ahead and we'll hit back up, and I'm going to label it step 014 to step 015. Prompts me I need to select everything that I want backed up. Honestly, in our case, it's just best to back it all up. We'll wait for it to back up. And just as a side note, if you happen to have this message at the top, basically what it's telling you is that there were files that are no longer used, and it moved them to a -old directory, and you can go ahead and delete them. I would encourage you to do that after you back up, just in case there was something in there that you needed. So what we're going to do in this lesson is we're going to go ahead and fairly quickly add our websites page through a plugin, and then we're going to learn about widgets, and we're going to just see what a widget does in this lesson, and we'll further go after more widgets in future lessons. So to get started, let's go ahead to our plugins, and let's just go to add new. The plugin that we're looking for is WP Links Page Free. And what we want is, doesn't say free on the end of it, but it is this one here. And if we take a look at it, we can see what it does. And really, the reason that we're going after this one is because it has a cool little feature built into it. And what that feature is the free version goes out and it grabs a picture of the site when you put a link in, and then it caches it, and it gives you a couple different layouts that you can lay out your sites in. You could do it in a grid like this, or columns like that. We'll do it in the columns for this. And it's a very simple, straightforward plugin that allows us to maintain a list of websites on our web page. And so we're going to go ahead and install this WP Links page, and then we're going to activate it. You'll see over in your left column, now that it's activated, that we can go over and we can click on it. And what this does is it keeps a list of all of our websites, and it gives us WordPress, by the way, just right out of the gate. You can leave it there or take it away. It really doesn't matter. And what it's doing for us is it's creating a special kind of post. We're used to creating posts. Well, this is creating posts, but it's a custom post type that it's creating. So in other words, what it's doing is just creating a post as we would, but it's saving it in a different definition so that it's explicit and specific to the plugin itself. So what we're going to do is basically just bounce back and forth from our page, and we can grab our pages, and I'm going to add one for the description, and then I'm just going to actually right click on my link and say copy link address. And when I paste that URL in there, and I add the link, it's actually going out to the website and it's taking a picture, and it brought back a picture, as you can see. So we're going to go ahead and do that for all of our websites. Stack Overflow, saving grace. Stack Overflow has saved me many times getting information. Put my link in, add link. While it's doing that, I'll go grab my next one, which is Amazon Smile. I'll grab that link, copy link address, put it up there, add that link, and we'll just keep moving along. Keep moving on. Go grab Adobe, one of my favorites. Facebook, of course, probably a lot of people's favorite, whether they realize it or not. Spend a great deal of time on it. Taking a minute to grab that information. We got that. So Adobe. So now we're doing Facebook. Copy link address. Put that up there. Add that. And then our last one is YouTube. The site that makes it possible for me to teach the way I do. Copy link address. Put that in there and add it. What we're looking for is 6 sites in total. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can move these around, by the way. You can shuffle them to however, what order you want them in, which is pretty cool. And I believe I might be missing one. W3, Stack Overflow, Amazon. After you move them, by the way, you got to hit save. And I believe that we're missing my Amazon site. I think it had a hard time there. So we'll go ahead and try that again. Let's see if it works that time. Seemed to have gotten itself held up. And it looks like Amazon might be rejecting the request, which means sometimes some sites will not allow you to do certain automated things. And with it being an e-commerce site, that's probably why it's not coming in. So we're just going to be happy with that, and I'll keep WordPress as that. So let's go have a look at our settings. And we can see in here we have a couple just minimal settings. First of all, the refresh rate. So weekly it'll go out and take a new picture of the website and keep the picture up to date. And really that's the big feature that we're after. And then we have our layout where we could do a grid or a list. We're going to do a list. And columns really doesn't apply to the list view. Columns would be, if we were doing the grid view, how many columns we would like it to be in. Alright, so I believe everything is saved at this point. And that is our list that we have put together. That's good. So the next thing that we want to do is go over to our pages. And we'll go to our websites. And sometimes to find how to get plugging in the shortcode, sometimes it's kind of difficult, and it doesn't give you a whole lot of information. So you end up using the help. I'm going to leave this page for a minute. And in help is normally where, if you can't find it anywhere else, is normally where you can find what that shortcode should be. And in this case, it shows us right here under help that to pull that list in, we want to use the WP underscore links underscore page underscore free. I'm going to go back to my websites page. I'm going to paste that in there. I'm going to update it. Then I'm going to take a look at it. And there we have our websites list. Pretty cool stuff. So at this point, what we want to do is wrap up this page, and the way that we'll wrap this page up is by go ahead and we'll put in our quote. So we'll go to edit page. We're going to put it above the grid, so we'll take it like that. Insert a shortcode, grab quote, and just go pull the quote right off of our try to use my own quotes. Fool the world into believing I'm witty. As long as you're fooling yourself, that's all that matters. Oh, got a misspelling. I have frequent misspells. Brian Savage as the author. Live preview. And there we go. So let's go ahead and insert that shortcode. Now, if you remember from lesson 14, what we did is we went ahead and we styled that quote, and that quote is going to be exactly the same. So instead of wasting time and going out and looking at it, we're just going to go ahead and style it right away, and that's the SU dash quote. And you could actually go back to your books page and copy it if you wanted to. Honestly, I think it would take just as much time to just go ahead and type this one in. Margin auto, so it centers it on the page. Let's update it. And let's go have a look. And there we go. Our quote is on our page, and our websites page is good to go. So at this point, what we want to do is we're done with our website page. But what we're doing in this lesson, one of the things we're doing is we're going to go ahead and get an introduction to what widgets are. And what widgets are not just, but primarily, for the most part, as far as we're concerned right now, are these side pieces in the website. And the way that we can manage these widgets, it allows us to put different pieces in different places. And so I think what we're going to do is get rid of, we'll keep recent posts, recent comments, we'll get rid of them, archives, and meta. And we'll just keep categories and recent posts. And then this website plugin comes with a widget. And so we haven't looked at them before, so let's go have a look at them. If we go up here to our top menu and come down, we can go right to widgets. Now, depending on your theme, themes Themes have a lot of widgets. Some themes don't have many widget spaces. And what it is basically a column that the theme builds into itself to allow for extra pieces of information, widgets, we call them, right? Code blocks, we could call them, to be placed into the web page. Okay, so here we are, we're looking at the widgets, and underneath available widgets, these are different things that we can pull over into these areas, and this theme offers a lot of areas to place widgets. And as you can see, if you look at the website, actually if you hover over here, go to visit site, hold down your control key and click it, it'll open it in a new tab, and we can go ahead and let's just focus on websites since that's what we're working on. And we can see our widgets over here, and we can see recent posts, comments, things of that nature, search, recent posts, comments, and so on and so forth. So if we go ahead and we actually click on the little down arrow, we can delete it. And we're not deleting it, we're removing it from here. We're going to keep categories, and we're getting rid of all these others. And at this point, if I come over here and I refresh and you watch, you'll see that all those side pieces disappeared. And what's really nice with certain themes like this one, you have a lot of control over which widgets you want in which areas of the site. And as you become more and more comfortable with designing your site and pay more attention to what it is you're presenting to your users, this becomes more and more valuable. So to keep it simple and just an introduction to widgets, we could either drag one of these over, or as I'll demonstrate, we can click on this widget here, which came with our web links one, with our web links plugin, and we can tell it that we would like it to display everywhere and say add widget. And we can see that it's come up under the display everywhere. And actually we're going to go ahead and just put it right underneath categories in the default sidebar. We could put in a custom title, or we could just leave it links. We'll go ahead and put our favorite sites in there. And if we come out here and we take a look, we can see that now our favorite sites is listed over on the right side of the page. And that'll come up because it's the default, that'll come up on every page. And it's not the best idea or use, but it is primarily just a good way to introduce you to the idea of widgets. We could drag this if we wanted to, which we don't necessarily want it to, but let's say we did want it there. We just drag it up and drop it, and there it is. But I'm going to go ahead and put it back underneath categories. We'll do a refresh, and there we have it again. I would encourage you to play around with widgets. We're going to use them more and more going forward as we start to complete the content in our site. We're going to start focusing more on what we want and where we want certain things to be seen throughout our site, and ways to attract people to different areas of our site. So that concludes this lesson. Make sure you read about widgets and learn more about widgets, and we'll see you on the next lesson.